Alright, so now that we've turned to a fresh page in our sketchbook, we need to divide it into 12 parts. That means 2 lines going this way, vertical. You can use a ruler for this part. And we're going to split the paper into 4 rows. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright, in the top upper right corner, I want you to write out, and you can make it artsy-fartsy if you want, the principles of design. I'll put a little strawberry there. Alright, the principles of design. I'm going to zoom in the old-fashioned way. Right. There we go. Alright, the first one we're going to do is balance. Go ahead and draw a diagonal line. Two half moon shapes and a large triangle meeting up in the middle. These are obviously going to be turned into a set of scales, which was the original way of weighing things. It's called scales because you would have scales of metal that were weighed out to be a certain way. You put them on one side and whatever you're selling on the other side, and you weigh it out that way. How many pounds or ounces you were selling was by price. Alright, so since we have balance, go ahead and somewhere in here, put your fruit. Alright, so balance is the first one. Second one is composition. I'm going to give you kind of a free rein with this. Composition is how your art is laid out. It can be a very empty composition. It can be a very cluttered composition. It could be a very well-balanced composition or an asymmetrical composition. It is simply how your art is laid out. So take your fruit, and put it into a scenario that involves pretty much the whole square or rectangle, so it actually has a composition. Draw me like one of your French girls. Alright. Composition. I put a strawberry in a composition. Pattern is our next one. Pattern is something, a color, a shape, an object that repeats in a work of art. So that one's pretty easy. Whatever fruit you have, you're going to make a pattern with it. Pattern. Next we're going to step up to the next level of pattern, which is called repetition. A repetition is a pattern that repeats throughout the whole work of art. let's say the artist really, really, really likes stripes. So stripes would be found completely throughout the whole work of art. And since stripes are the same kind of pattern, it is now a repetition. So we're going to take this pattern, whatever way you drew out your fruit. And we're going to repeat. Ooh, that's a rough strawberry right there. Okay, can't make. I gotta love that strawberry though, because I can't erase my mistakes with the marker. All right, and you can do a pattern behind them. All right, a repetition, pattern that repeats. Next is rhythm. Yes, there is rhythm in visual art. It is simply known as visual rhythm. So, rhythm could be ba 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 ba, or yee. It can be something that simply makes your eyes follow in a rhythm. And since we're already working with pattern and rhythm go together very well, because the pattern makes it repeats whatever it is, so your fruit repeats, but your eye still goes 1, 2, 3. All right. Do some more rhythm with some lines. Rhythm. All right, next one is emphasis. And we will definitely have a project where we talk about emphasis. When something is more important than everything else in your picture. So draw a huge strawberry. Emphasis can be created with size, color, isolation, contrast, or detail. So give this a lot of detail if it's a shiny piece of fruit. In the background, way smaller pieces of fruit that don't have as much. You can already tell that by its size, amount of detail, the fact that it's right in the middle, that my big strawberry is definitely the most important piece of fruit in this one on emphasis. Unity. When everything, both elements of art and principles of design, come together to unify into one great piece of art. So we're going to unite in the middle, draw those fruits around. All right, unity. Next one is variety. Strawberries are nice, unless you're allergic to them. Strawberries are great, but if I only ate strawberries all the time for fruit, I would get so bored of strawberries. So in this one, draw your fruit, and then draw another type of fruit. And then another type of fruit. Variety causes interest in the fact that there's a lot of different things to look at. So in variety, add other types of fruit along with the fruit that you started with. Movement is our next one. Movement is how the eye follows the artwork. Up in rhythm, we have movement. We follow where the lines go. We look at it with our eyes. Same thing with movement. So draw your fruit, and we're going to use line to create movement. They're obviously going in a strong diagonal direction. Think of it as fruit bombs happening in this one. Last one we have is proportion. This has to do with size in relation to other things in the picture. So something far away would be very small, and something very close would be very big. So, draw your biggest fruit, make it fill the whole thing up. Then draw a slightly smaller fruit to go within that one. And Mary Lou Who found the smallest fruit of all on the inside. And his heart grew 3 times too big, however it goes. All right, so those are your principles of design. And in your last one, you can simply write thin. Very good. All right, so I can't wait to see which fruit y'all choose and how you do with this project. All right, can't wait to see what y'all do.